Hello, I created this quick video to show you how you can centralize all your cloud assets, people, processes, documentation, and cloud infrastructures directly on Brainboard to improve visibility and collaboration across your organization. So let's get started. Once you have created your account, you can invite all your team members to join your organization by specifying their email address, their roles from owner to guest, and then you can create different teams. To create your teams, you simply need to specify their names, the admin, and the members. For example, we have created the teams Cloud Architect, Guest, DevOps, Security Squad, and DevOps Architect. Here, for example, the Cloud Architect one, we are specifying the name, the admin, and the members. Once you have created your teams, you can actually create your own project. For us, for example, we have created 3 projects. The use case, class strategies, and template catalog. For example, for the class strategies one, we simply needed to specify the name, the admin, and the different environments. Once you have done that, you can actually set up your own credentials from GitLab to Bitbucket. Then you can also specify the remote backend that you would like to use. Here, you can choose either AWS S3, Azure Blob Storage, or Brainboard backend. You can also specify, depending on which architecture, you can specify either AWS S3, Azure Blob Storage, or Brainboard backend. Once you have done that, here is how the data are configured on Brainboard. You have different projects, for example, cloud strategies, template catalog, and use cases. In each project, you have different environments, like for example, development, GCP, until trainings. In the development one, you have, for example, here, you open this environment. Here you have the name of the environment, the description, the tags, and when it was created and modified. Here you have also all your cloud architectures. For example, for the VPC with subnet and security ID, here you can specify the name. You can also specify the status of this architecture from work in progress until locked. You can also document this architecture for your team members to understand how this architecture is useful and how it's being used. Then the tags and all the information about when it was created, updated, and the UID. Here, let's say, for example, we are going to open the VPC with subnet. You have here all your cloud providers. You can choose either from Azure, AWS, GCP, or Scaleway. And here you have all the cloud resources that you can use to design and maintain all your cloud infrastructures. Here you have the design with all the resources. Here, for example, let's say that you would like to use the EC2. You simply need to use it and drag and drop it directly in the architecture. The first power of Brainboard is that it's able to recognize all the interactions between the resources. So now it's able to recognize that the EC2 will be included in the AWS VPC and in the region. Here you have the ID count with the documentation that you can use to set up and configure your resource with the mandatory fields, the advanced configuration, the extra attributes with the meta argument, the count, the depends on, and the for each, and then the exported attributes. Everything that you are doing on your diagram will be automatically reflected on your code. So for example, let's say that you would like to check that the EC2 is in the code. You can actually look at it here. It's 163. Let's say now that you would like to modify it. It's called, for example, use case. You simply need to close it. Here, the code has been refreshed, and now the name as well. So here you go now to the deploy. You have all your files with the main.tf, all the outputs, the providers, the Terraform TVARs, the variables, and the locals. And I will show you that here. So here you have all the inputs, so all your variables that you can have a different layer from the organization to the architecture. Here you have the variables that have been created. To modify them, you can actually specify the name, the scope from organization to locals. Then if it's string or if it's, for example, a map or a set, you can also set up the value, all the default, and add the description, and also add the sensitive value here. Update. You also have all the locals that you can create. Now for the output, you simply need to go there, and to create your output, you simply need to specify the output name, the output value, the description, and if it's sensitive or not. Once you have done that, you can actually build all your cloud infrastructures with your team members. For example, you can see that Shafiq is on this architecture and that we can actually work together and that he can mentor me and teach me all the best practices that he has created on Brainboard. Once you have done that, you can actually go to the deploy, and here you have two deployment strategies. You either use, for example, let's say GitHub to do a pull request. Here you go to the Terraform code, you create a pull request, for example, here use case. Then Brainboard package all the files, give me the URL with the name and all the files that have been modified. And then I can merge it and use my CI/CD pipeline. But I can also decide to do Terraform actions with the plan. For example, here we're going to validate that the code is actually valid. Everything should be green, so it means that the infrastructure is ready to be deployed on AWS. What you're going to see here. Once it's done and that you have validated that the code is actually valid, here we have implemented a locking mechanism. For example, imagine that I clicked on apply while Shafiq has done a plan. Brainboard is directly able to recognize that there is an ongoing action, that the plan needs to be switched off before you can actually do an apply and deploy your cloud infrastructure directly on AWS. So I hope this video has been useful for you, and if you have any questions, I will be really happy to help you build your own use cases on Brainboard. Have a great day.